Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network. And feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And you too could order one of these t-shirts. You can own one of these t-shirts. Just go to our banner at the top of the YouTube channel, the Shooting Up North banner, bottom right hand corner, click on the Shooting Up North merchandise link, and you too can own one of these t-shirts, our debut t-shirt. And in addition, if you haven't already watched or listened to my recent interview with Moose conducted last Wednesday, it's now up on the channel. It's getting rave reviews. If you want to listen to it, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, it's on anywhere you get audio podcasts. Just check it out. And of course, you can watch it right here on the YouTube channel. It is available right now. It's again getting rave reviews, a lot of positive feedback. Check it out. My interview with Impact Wrestling superstar Moose. Okay, so at Ric Flair's the last match, Ric Flair's last match card, which is coming up for StarCast, they announced some very interesting matches. As we know, some very interesting matches. They announced Josh Alexander, Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Josh Alexander defending the Impact Wrestling World title against MLW's Jacob Fatu. We're going to see MLW's Davey Richards teaming up with former Wolves partner, Eddie Edwards, as they take on the Motor City Machine Guns. So we're getting some Impact Wrestling MLW interactions. Now, granted, while they're using the name Impact Wrestling, they aren't using the name MLW for the show. But we all know as wrestling fans that Jacob Fatu and Davey Richards are MLW superstars. So when they announced Josh Alexander, I didn't know. I last 2 days has been very busy for me, so I wasn't aware. And BQ from the Impact Lounge, actually, he notified me that Josh Alexander will be defending against Jacob Fatu. I got extremely excited. When BQ sent that message to me, and he said, "Look at the match that's been signed for Ric Flair's last match." I mean, this is going to be just a fantastic match. And then you have MLW's Davey Richards reuniting. Well, they've reunited in the past, but is reuniting again with Eddie Edwards, the Wolves, as they take on the Motor City Machine Guns. So another MLW star and Impact Wrestling star coming together again. So taking on an Impact Wrestling team. So the question is with this excitement level now, with seeing MLW and Impact Wrestling stars coming together, the question is, should we finally see Impact Wrestling and MLW officially come together and start working together and start giving us some MLW Impact Wrestling dream matches? And I don't like to use the word dream matches, but there are a few dream matches that you could argue the fact that Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu was a dream match. You could argue that fact, but there are a couple of really, well, I want to throw the word dream match out there. So they could give us some very, very, very extremely interesting matchups. So that's better. We'll say that. But very excited when they announced Josh Alexander against Jacob Fatu, and I'm thinking, I wonder if this is all by design. If Impact Wrestling, like Scott D'Amore and Court Bauer, they want to just gauge the fan interest on a potential MLW Impact Wrestling partnership. It's very possible. Very possible. Again, they haven't. They're not calling Jacob Fatu an MLW superstar officially for the match. They're not saying MLW superstar Davey Richards officially, but like I said, we all know they're an MLW. And I wonder. I would be very surprised if Court Bauer, Scott D'Amore aren't watching this very carefully to gauge the fan interest. Because personally, I think Josh Alexander, Jacob Fatu, that's match is going to be a huge match. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic match. It gives us a little taste. Actually, I'm sorry, gives us a big taste of a potential Impact Wrestling MLW partnership. So the question is, should we start seeing them working together? on a more regular basis? And I say a resounding yes. I say a resounding yes. I mean, with all this forbidden door talk, I don't know why they're using the phrase forbidden door anymore. There's no such thing as a forbidden door. Everybody's been working together with everybody. You have AEW, New Japan working together. You already have Tony Khan, saying, I'm thinking about Forbidden Door 2. And personally, Tony, let's see how you do on Forbidden Door 1 before you start talking about Forbidden Door 2. Because quite frankly, I'm not very excited about Forbidden Door, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm not. There's nothing that really jumps out at me that says, "Oh, this is going to be a fantastic match." Maybe Moxley, Tanahashi is the exception to that, but there's really nothing that jumps out. I have a feeling it's going to turn out to be a little bit of a disappointment, but that's my feeling. But anyway, back to the topic at hand: Impact Wrestling, MLW. I mean, if they started working together, some of the matches that we could get, and I'm not talking about, MLW is going to invade, Impact, or Impact's going to invade MLW. None of that invasion angle stuff. Just one day, like Exhibition, we see MLW middleweight champion Myron Reed show up one day, and the challenger Speedball Mike Bailey. Title versus title, MLW middleweight title versus Exhibition title. How awesome would that be? How awesome would that be? What if Moose shows up? Moose showed up in MLW, confronted Alex Hammerstone, and it leads up to a big match between Alex Hammerstone defending the MLW Heavyweight Championship against Moose. How awesome would that be? How awesome would that be? What if the Von Erichs? The Von Erichs, they show up one day and they get in the face of the Good Brothers, if the Good Brothers are still with the company, and in less than a month, and challenge them for the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team titles. How incredibly fantastic would that be? Or what if we get like the Motor City Machine Guns confronting Hustle and Power? Hustle and Power, EJ and Duke and Calvin Tankman, the MLW Tag Team Champions. There's so much possible. And then Taya Valkyrie, the Reign champion. She's the Impact Wrestling Knockouts co-holder of the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Tag Team Championship, and she's also the MLW featherweight world featherweight women's champion. Although, so what if she, came to Impact Wrestling and had an open challenge for the MLW women's title? How awesome would that be? And it gets answered by Deonna Purrazzo. How incredibly! And what if they have a whole? Excuse me. What if they have a whole MLW versus Impact Wrestling show? That would be just lights out amazing. Or Richard Holiday, Alicia Jute show up in Impact Wrestling and say they confront I don't know, it confronts Eddie Edwards. So I don't know more. I don't think I don't know more is going to be much longer. It's just, but let's say he confronts Eddie Edwards, and he attacks Eddie Edwards, and Dave Richards makes a save. Something like that. Let's just be Josh Alexander going to MLW TV and defending the Impact Wrestling World title. Trey Miguel going there and challenging like Arez to a match. There's so many possibilities. That's why I think it would be, and it would really pique fans' interest. It would really pique fans' interest if MLW and Impact Wrestling started working together on a regular basis. Again, no invasion angle. The invasion angle is I don't think is very exciting anymore. But just like one day, you're watching Impact Wrestling and the lights go out and they turn on, and Alex Hammerstone is in the ring with the MLW Heavyweight Championship, and he calls out Impact Wrestling World Champion Josh Alexander to a match. That would just, or the reverse. Josh Alexander, does a run in and confronts Alex Hammerstone, and we could have title versus title match, something like that. Jacob Fatu and the Samoan SWAT team, they show up and they take out the Motor City Machine Guns, or they start showing up backstage and they start taking out Impact Wrestling stars, or Violent by Design shows up on MLW and they take out the Samoan SWAT team. Oh man, there's so many freaking possibilities there. How it would just be incredibly, incredibly awesome if MLW and Impact Wrestling, if Court Bauer and Scott D'Amore just got together and they started working together on a regular basis. I mean, like I said, you have AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, working together. There is interest there. Personally, like I said, I don't think Forbidden Door is going to be very good, but it would definitely pique fan interest. And if like the NWA wants to get involved as well, I think it would be very interesting. So I think it would be so beneficial uh, to not just to Impact Wrestling and MLW, but to the fans as well, because I think the fans would really be into it, man. The fans would this would be a treat for the fans, because like I said, right now Josh Alexander defending the Impact Wrestling World Title against Jacob Fatu is huge. And like I said, I got so excited. This is going to be a fantastic. I wasn't going to order Ric Flair's last match. I had no interest in ordering that at all. But when they announced Josh Alexander defending the Impact Wrestling World Title against Jacob Fatu, now I think I want to order it. Now I want to order it. I think a lot of people feel the same way as I do after hearing that match. And then you have the American Wolves, the Wolves, David Richards, Eddie Edwards against the Motor City Machine Guns. That's going to be another that excuse me, that's going to be another fantastic match that involves Impact Wrestling talent and MLW talent. So, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using this, like Court Bauer and Scott D'Amore. I wouldn't be surprised if they already had a discussion and they're using this to gauge fan interest in a potential Impact Wrestling MLW partnership. Like I said, it would be beneficial to both promotions and to the fans. And man, I'd be all for it. I would be all for it. And I think everybody watching right now would be all for it as well. And I do hope it happens. I got my fingers crossed. It would be, I think, especially with Impact Wrestling, they're losing a lot of talent. The Briscoes apparently, according to PW Insider, and I'm going to touch upon this a little later. Apparently, from PW Insider, apparently they're using this attack storyline to write them out of the company. You have Lady Frost requesting her release. I don't know the story behind that. Could be she just wants to move on, but she's requesting her release. We lost, W. Morrissey left, Jonah recently left, Willie Mack recently left, Rohit Raju, Jake something, all these talents that they're leaving. And like anytime Impact Wrestling does something good with a good show, there's always seems to be negativity following. But MLW, Impact Wrestling coming together would be a huge positive for both promotions. And man, oh man, I hope it happens. I hope it happens. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I'm watching the news. I'm back. Sorry about the last 2 days. I was very busy. Wasn't able to do any podcasting. Actually, I was at Greektown Wrestling last night, and I met these guys. Last night. There we go. I met Violet by Design. I met all three of them last night. It was a great show. I had my picture taken with them. Still waiting for it to get sent to me. But it was a great show. It was great meeting Eric Young. Great meeting Big Joe Doring. And I've met Cody Diener a number of times in the past. It was good to see him again. Yeah. So again, MLW, Impact Wrestling. Let's get it going. Let's get this partnership. Let's get a partnership going, man. And I think it will be absolutely awesome. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that. I'm watching the news. Anything breaks, I'll be back. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.